What's happening, guys? Pete back with you for a special year-end edition of the Music Box Pete podcast. Hope you guys are doing well. On today's episode, I'll give you all my top song, all my top album picks of 2025, but also compare them to Billboard's alternative airplay chart. They actually just published their top 50 year-end chart for this past year. As they traditionally do, usually the end of the first week of December. Is usually when they post, but we're going to talk about some of my personal song picks and also compare them it's the Billboard songs. So figure out which songs that are on the alternative play chart are also on my chart. So sort of do a little comparing and contrasting, and also talk about my top album picks and just sort of wrap up 2025 with one pretty bow. So let's look over at the top 50 alternative airplay of 2025. The number one song of this past year was "Too Sweet" from Hozier. He was also the number four song from last year as well too. So there's a little bit of that crossover from last year when we talk about we talked about recurrence in the last episode of the cast, but I think with Hozier there was a lot of that airplay that was spilling over from last year into this year, and that has to do with the tracking year. One thing you might not know is that Billboard's tracking year is different from sort of what my tracking year is. I have sort of my own creative vision of it, but Billboard's tracking year is from um, October of the prior year. I'm sorry, it's from the end of November of the prior year versus to the October of this year. So for 2025, um, it's from October of 2024 to November of 2025, if that makes any sense. So there's a lot of crossover from November, December of last year into 2025 to this year, and it sort of ends just in time so they can compile the list. My tracking period always goes from January 1st to the end of the first week of December. That's how I've always done things from the beginning. It's sort of a very straightforward process. It's sort of the thing also that leaves out the Christmas songs because Christmas songs generally aren't eligible to chart my year-end chart anyway. Sort of, they're not original compositions by any means. But that's how Billboard does things, and that's how I sort of do things in my own personal way. So let's compare the songs. Um, Sombr's Back to Friends was number 4 on alternative airplay for 2025. It was number 17 on my year-end list, so it charted much lower, but it's much higher on Billboard's. DeJoe's Basic Being Basic was the number 5 alternative airplay song the past year. It was actually the number 1 song of 2025 on my list, so definitely well-deserving. Also going down the list, Yellow Card's Better Days was the number 20 alternative airplay song of 2025. Was the number 4 song on my year-end list. Yeah, that's about it. But just sort of comparing those songs too, and also what's on my year-end list. The Starting Line Sense of Humor was the runner-up song of this past year. Starting Line had an amazing year. Of course, I saw them back in August. The Paradise, the best show Starting Line ever did. Eternal Youth, their first album in 18 years. Was the top album of this past year. We'll talk about my top albums a little bit later on, but it was just incredible year for the Starting Line, and what they're doing just absolutely reaffirmed that they're still here and they're still relevant today, probably even more relevant now, more than ever. Finn Wolfhard's Choose the Ladder is number 3 song of the this past year. He also has Trailers After Dark, which is number 6 song. My good friend Benji, So Good For Me, had the number 5 song this past year. Benji was also in the band Hawking that I featured on the site many years ago. He also had the number 2 song of 2020 on my year-end list with California. My good buddy Henry Merritt's Just Like That is the number 8 song of this past year, and he is charted on my year-end list for 4 consecutive years. He first charted back in 2019 with Ordinary Man, and he also charted in 2022 with Starting Over at number 5 for 2022. In 2023, Suburbs was number 10. Last year, Adults was the number 6 song. Cahuenga was the number 9 song. So 4 consecutive years, an incredible feat. Troy Cartwright has also charted many consecutive years. He didn't chart with any of his songs this year, but he's challenging Troy Cartwright's record for most consecutive years on the year-end chart. But I think this year's chart shows a lot of musical diversity, just a lot of sort of freewheeling, a lot of like alternative, but there also is a little bit of a pop sensibility as well there too. That's sort of embedded deep within too. Just pop is not a dirty word, but just my songs, of course, Sort of, and of course, Backset also has 3 songs on my year-end list with Divine at number 13, Where'd You Go at number 18, and Waterman at number 20. So there's a lot great that, having repeats. There's no limit to how many artists can chart in my year-end chart. There's absolutely no rules here. So, but why don't we take a little music break right now and get into Henry Merritt's Just Like That, which is just a phenomenal song. And I saw him back in October. It was at this like climbing supply shop down in Somerville that they converted to a music space. He plays guitar for this act called Jorana, and she is a phenomenal talent. She released a song this past year called "I Just Got Fired from Harvard," which is an incredible song. She talks about it on stage, how it all came about. But Henry plays backing guitar for her, and he is just a phenomenal talent. He lives down in Nashville now, but he still comes up home pretty regularly. But I'm so honored and proud to be his friend. So here's Henry Merritt with Just Like That on the special year-end edition of the Music Box P podcast.
Still remember the first time you held my gaze, every color, every shade of your eyes as they looked away. For a second you were everything. If you'd be my right person, wrong time, I would be satisfied. If you'd be a secret I can't keep, that'd be alright. Just like that, we're back to strangers, to square one. Just like that, you've killed a dream that's just begun. I'm sorry I got my hopes up just like that. So now I can't look you in the eye, give you a fake warm smile. I wish we said our last goodbyes to keep my mind occupied. I've been denied by fate, these now I know my place. I'm still thinking of you, it's the last thing I wanna do. Wish you'd be my
That was Henry Merritt's Just Like That on the special year-end edition of the Music Box P podcast. Continuing on with my top albums of 2025 now. Let's go to number 10, Yellow Card's Better Days. Again, phenomenal year for the group. Better Days spent 3 weeks at number one on the alternative Airplay chart. They first appeared on the alternative chart way back in 2003, September of '03, when Way Away debuted. So it took 22 years for them to get their first number one alternative Airplay, and lo and behold, they did. And I'm just so proud of them and what they're able to do. Yellow Card Better Days, number 10. Number 9 was Benson Boone's American Heart. This album should have gotten a lot more notice than it should have, and I sort of blame that on the whole Recurrent thing, because Beautiful Things, everybody was just encasing, Beautiful Things. It was still getting lots of airplay, but I don't think that they were paying enough attention, and it's to American Heart. It's a damn shame because it's a pretty damn good album. I'm Sorry I'm Here for Someone Else, of course, Mystical Magical, which you're hearing all the Target Christmas commercials, and my favorite off the album is Mr. Electric Blue. And the album was passed over in the Grammy nominations recently too, and it's a damn shame because it's a damn good album because it hell deserves it. So and I have it on vinyl too, and it's a phenomenal album through and through, and you should definitely listen to it more. So Benson Boone at number 9. Number 8 is All Time Lows, Everyone's Talking. And just sort of, talking the same vein with Yellow Card. All Time Low, again, all their success later in their career. I first started listening to All Time Low back in the late 2000s with Sober on Its Right, Nothing Personal, which I have on vinyl. But All Time Low and Black Bear's Monsters, that's tied with Portugal the Man's Feel It Still for most weeks spent at number one on the alternative Airplay chart. So that I'm just so proud of all the success they're doing, and they're still relevant today too. They're sort of taking in all the old timers and getting all the newcomers and sort of joining together in a scene. I just think that it's incredible to sort of combine the two fan bases. It's a great dichotomy of those two worlds. It really sizzles to life. So All Time Low, number 8 on my year-end list. Number 7 is Finn Wolfhard's Happy Birthday. And there's sort of a little theme with all the Stranger Things alums here. Of course, DeJoe's The Crux is my number 4 album of the year. But Finn Wolfhard, had an incredible year. He directed his first film, Hell of a Summer, which I started back in April. Phenomenal film. It's a horror film. But I think, Finn is a man of multiple talents to take all of his skills from behind the camera to acting and taking it over to music. He's just a man of many talents. Of course, he was also in the Aubreys, and he's also in Calpurnia as well, too. But Happy Birthday is an incredible album, so definitely go check it out if you haven't already. Finn is at number 7. Number 6 album is the 529's Do the Right Thing EP. And this is actually one of the more recent entries here on the list, too, because this album actually just came out last month in November. But it's really creeping on, got a ton of plays. They're from UCLA, of course. The from in the band, Kiva Schwig, has this very unusual voice. It's sort of like a throaty whisper, but he's so mellow and laid back. It has a mellow, laid back drawl, and it has and it works in well with their jam band style. But they just are so hardworking, and I wrote a post a write up over on musicboxp.com about it and how amazingly talented they are, and just honestly, they should be more popular than they should right now because they have all the necessary tools to be phenomenal musicians. So definitely go check it out. 529's at number 6. Pretoria's If We're Pretending EP's at number 5. Emerson Everywhere, Boil Water Notice, all incredible songs off the album. Pretoria, probably one of the best indie bands of the 2020s, in my opinion. Definitely go check out their Audio Tree session that they put out just a month or two ago. Phenomenal. You can check out on the visual version on YouTube, the audio versions, and all the major streaming platforms as well. So definitely go check it out. Sombr's I Barely Know Her is number 3 album. Sombr's one of those rare talents where he has all the he writes and produces all of his music, which you can't say about any other artist that's out there today too. Just got nominated for the Best New Artist Grammy. He definitely deserves it. But I think he's really come to his own as a musician, because he had been releasing songs individually over the last few years, but he's finally getting his notice right now. But I Barely Know Her, phenomenal album. Have it here on vinyl, so that's number 3. Number 2 album of the year, right behind the starting line's Eternal Youth, is Ace Enders with Posture Syndrome. This album blew me away when it came out back in October, and it almost challenged the starting line for top album of the year, but it blew me away with Damaged Goods, Alaska. it just Ace is just phenomenal talent. Of course, I saw him play acoustic at Deep Cuts 2 years ago, and he was just could not have been any more nicer or gracious to me. And I had my picture taken with him, which I'm looking at right now as I'm recording this. But Ace is just a phenomenal talent through and through, and he just goes out there and gives it his all. And also with his band, the Early November, and he still does to this day. So I just can't say enough good things about Ace. Why don't I play one of his songs right here too, and so you can get a feel what it's like, and you'll fall in love with it just as much as I have. So here's Ace Enders with Damaged Goods on the special year-end edition of the Music Box P podcast.
I see sunset in the rearview mirror. I drive so far that it disappears. Had to run away from the light of day. I hope you find a place that you don't hate. It just don't feel like it should. Dragging around my damaged goods. I hope you're out there holding on to someone, so I know it's worth it, even if I'm not there. Just to think you're smiling fills me with a purpose. Looking at that sunrise, pulling to your stare. Like to hope you're out there. Crescent hole, cut so deep, but I can't let go. And I'm fixed on it, but it just can't show. Hurts to be the one that you just can't know. But I know you probably would drag around my damaged goods. I hope you're out there holding on to someone, so I know it's worth it, even if I'm not there. Just to think you're smiling fills me with a purpose. Looking at that sunrise, pulling to your stare. Like to hope you're out there. Dragging around these damaged goods, but I know you would, I know you would carry around my damaged goods. I hope you're out there holding on for something, so I know it's worth it, even if I'm not there. Just to know you're smiling fills me with a purpose. Looking at that sunrise, pulling to your stare. Like to hope you're out there. I hope you're out
Oh my god. That's crazy.
That was Ace Enders with Damaged Goods on the special year-end edition of the Music Box P podcast. And just wrapping up the year in general, and it's just been a phenomenal year, especially, here at Music Box P. Just, looking back at retooling the podcast, which I posted the last interview I did. I think it was with Brian DeSoup and the Old Haunts back in January. Put the podcast on hiatus for a few months. And just, I wanted to basically what happened was I ran out of artists to interview for the cast, so I thought it would be best to just retool and just sort of figure out, and also at the same time as printing out all these Billboard charts, and just sort of one day I got the idea, why don't I just make a podcast about it, and just it made all more sense to retool the existing Music Box P podcast into what you're hearing now, and just talk about all things with the charts, and just sort of bringing my love with collecting all these charts I listened to. Going back, I think I started paying attention to modern rock tracks charts. I would say probably in the late '90s, I think, and just sort of retooling it from there, and just it's really just sort of taking on a life of its own. Put all those print out all the charts, put them in binders. Print out a special year-end edition that I have right now, which is all the charts from like '88 on. It really is it's phenomenal to see all the work I put into this over the last several months. It was one of my life's missions to see it finally come to fruition. I'm just so proud, and it's a huge achievement, especially for me. Because it's just a hobby, it's a passion of mine. Just everything involving, writing for Music Box Pete, putting together a podcast, not just this podcast, but also the Seventh Corner podcast that I do for Northeastern Hockey. It's a labor of love for me. It's something I truly enjoy doing. Just bringing back all my passions and what I enjoy doing in life. It's really given me a new focus too. It's sort of, reinvigorated. Not that I never had that passion before, but it's sort of reaffirmed my purpose of bringing all this stuff to you too, because I love nerding out about music, about charts and all that too. It's just something I enjoy doing. And shout out to Pete's Modern Rock, who has a Facebook group devoted to this, that posts all the charts too, like special chart anniversaries on this day back in whatever date it is. He's actually instrumental in putting these charts together. So shout out to Pete's Modern Rock for doing that. He's put in so much work, and of course he has a Patreon, which I give a little money for him too, just for all the hard work he's done too, and lots of other members are members of that same group as well too. So definitely go and check it out if you're on Facebook if you want to get all the charts there. And he also posts the current alternative Airplay weekly charts as well too, just in case you're wondering. So. But yeah, this year has been phenomenal. Christmas, it's getting colder as it should, as it does every December. But this past year has been phenomenal for music. Looking at all the songs I listened to, it's really given me a lot of clarity in life too. Just sort of, and just I think with this year in music and just sort of analyzing the trends and how I've come to sort of realize myself as a person. I've become more, intuitively self-aware, and just, I've been reaffirmed. It's re-energized sort of my love for music, and just sort of, brought it back together. And it's given me even more of a creative focus and vision, especially when putting this project together. And I just love everything it's given me too. And it's really, it's brought me closer also. It's like a lot of my musician friends as well too. It's sort of reaffirmed, why I created this in the first place. Started with my friends' bands, but now, with this podcast, it's taken off life of its own, and talking about the Billboard charts. It's created almost like a two-headed monster, but, in a good way. But just, thank you guys so much, for listening, for reading on the site, listening to my podcast. Reach out to me whenever I'm live out at a show. It really is awesome. It means the world to me. So, let's close out the podcast with my number one song of the past year, Basic Being Basic. I think that song just sort of defines, I'm anything but basic, but it sort of encapsulates the year in a good way. And just, who I am as a person. So here's D-Joe's Basic Being Basic. Closing us out on the special year-end edition of the Music Box P podcast. Have a happy holiday, everybody. See you in 2026.
Get food, barely eat. Every bite just kept me glued to my seat. I worried, even cried. How'd it feel to take the light from my life? Bad habit, even worse. 50-50, I'm a sucker for looks. Asked for it, here it is. A quick example, cause you wanted the hits. I think you're scared of being basic. That's ironic, cause it's reading like you're even more basic. It's not funny, it's so funny. there for fame. I don't wanna live a life where that's my big exchange. I want simple pleasures, friends who have my back. Everyone has secrets, but not everyone can fool a man like that. It sent me reeling, still not the same. It's like my capacity to love and give has changed. I guess I'll thank you and spite your name again. The past will pass and I'll outlast the hate to find real love that's not pretend.
How